I'd like to transition to another company that has been maybe not known by the consumer, but certainly by everyone in the industry across multiple industries, and that's the company Flex. As I introduced Mike McNamara, I learned earlier today that Mike joined the company many years ago from a stint at Ford Motor originally, and when he later joined the company at the time, Flextronics, it was a $100 million a year company. Today, it is over $26 billion worldwide. Mike McNamara.
So thanks, Rob. Before I get started, I'm just going to roll a quick video just so you can take a look at a little bit about who we are, and it's a good way to get started.
It's a new day, full of opportunity. Are you ready? Just think, in 5 years, 50 billion smart devices will be connected to a web of intelligent systems and services that touch our lives every day. The age of connected intelligence is here, and it is transforming life as we know it. Soon, intelligence will be everywhere, infused into everything around us, and connected to everything we do. It will bring new insights and discoveries, redefine every industry, business, and experience. And the market disruption it triggers will create vast opportunity for those who embrace it. It's time to rethink what's possible, to create new products and services by innovating across industries and harnessing the power of data to improve our lives. Flex is leading the way in the age of intelligence. Our sketch-to-scale solutions help you gain competitive advantage. We cultivate and accelerate innovation, developing new product concepts, identifying and leveraging technologies across industries to speed time to market. We create the smart components that enable intelligence and build and scale products into the market with visibility and velocity. We have the opportunity to create a better life by building a smarter, more connected world. Imagine what we can do together. Flex. Live smarter.
So I'm going to go through just 2 slides to just explain who we are, because a lot of people don't know our company, and but it's obviously at scale. As Rob mentioned, we're $26 billion. We have over 50 million square feet of manufacturing capacity, where we operate at scale literally around the world. We have like 15,000 people in Brazil, and 80,000 in China, and 25,000 Southeast Asia, about 8,000 in India, 35,000 in Mexico. I can just go on and on. But the reason I want to talk about that is it just gives us a great access to what's going on in the world today. And what we do is we design and manufacture products for this intelligent world. We work with companies all the way from co-innovating on the manufacturing floor for new product introductions, all the way through to running massive scale operations, literally all around the globe in a consistent way. Part of that is being attached to innovation centers, not just the scale. We have 1 million square feet in Silicon Valley, so we actually do up to 5 new product introductions every single day. And we do that in almost every industry. Probably the second most innovation capital of the world would be Israel. We have about 750,000 square feet and probably have about 80 or 90% market share there. So once again, the new innovations that are occurring, we see probably more than anybody else. So it just gives us a very unique perspective. And if I think about that perspective, not only do we have this geographic presence and also this presence into the innovation capitals of the world, and by the way, I talked about Silicon Valley and Israel. We also have big operations in Stuttgart. We have big operations in Detroit, big operations in Shanghai. just opened up a New York Innovation Center, just opening up a Boston Innovation Center, just opening up another one in San Francisco to tap into the millennial innovation. So anywhere where there's innovation in the world, it's our objective to go find it. But what this shows up here is 12 different industries that we have more than $1 billion within each one of those 12 different industries. And in our business of designing and manufacturing for others, for brands, in these 12, 10 of them, we're actually the market leader in terms of revenue. So we got this huge presence, not only geographically, but also across industries. And what it allows us to do is to actually see innovations that are occurring within an industry, because we probably within an industry operate more supply chains than anybody in the world, but also across industry. And the ability for us to look across industries and take innovations and disruptions that are occurring in one industry and apply them across to another industry is a massive advantage. And we probably see more experiences than I think any other company in the world today. So let me back up a little bit now. I've kind of given you what we see and what our perspective is. Let me back up a little bit, talk about the big macro. And without doubt, the world is changing. And what that means is, just a couple of points. The world's population growth is growing through the roof. So this is creating a lot of opportunities, creating a lot of movement into centers of the world, into urban centers. But think about going all the way to 1900 and having 1.5 billion people, and since the year 1900, tripling and quadrupling our cumulative base. So you have a lot more people that are now in the world that are accessing what the world has to offer. You have a simultaneous change in terms of how technology is adopted. We've got every way from electricity, it took 46 years, telephone 35 years, all the way down to the web, 7 years. I don't know what Uber was, probably, if I put Uber on this, it's probably about 3 years, I don't know. But you have a simultaneously development of the world's population, you have a simultaneous development of technology, and if you think about what it's doing is driving this huge growth in the industry. If you look back at the industrial age, you actually had GDP doubling every 100 years. And it's because innovations were coming into the marketplace and people were adopting them, but not many innovations. You had the loom, you had the telegraph, you had the locomotive, you had a few things, but they weren't touching that many people, and there weren't that many people. When we got into figure out the right direction to point this. We got into the modern age. You see a lot more innovations. You saw the telephone, you saw planes, you saw many, many other things that were developed. They touched more people, and as a result, more innovations touching more people, you had higher growth of productivity. If you go forward, we've just finished the age of the computing age, the information age. And if I think about the information age, I think about the computers, I think about internet. And what happened with computers and internets, more people touching more innovations, and as a result, productivity doubled in 25 years. And we are in what we call today the intelligence age. And we think that rate of production is now doubling every 15 years, and on even a base of even more people with even more innovations. What's unique about the intelligence age, and people always talk about the Internet of Things, we actually talk about the intelligence of things, because the Internet's been around for about 30 years. What's unique is the end nodes that are in the world today are now intelligent, they're connected, they're smart, they're adaptive, they're adjusting to environmental conditions, and they're taking data out of that real-time information environment, and they're sending it back for analysis. And things like smartphones, which has a computer in your pocket, and things like the cloud, are all creating enabling technologies that actually allow the analysis of data to occur. So when you think about, and this is going across all the different industries, so the intelligence of things, the intelligence devices, there's a good stat out that suggests maybe there's 10 billion today, but maybe it'll be 50 billion over the next 4 to 5 years. And as this increase in the amount of intelligence occurs, as the increase in the amount of data that's being captured in the end market environment, whether it's by your Nest thermostat or by your car or by your phone or by your wash machine or any of the other end connected devices, it's going to send back data somewhere where that data can be analyzed, it could be It can be trended, tracked, visualized, and we can ultimately move towards being a predictive society. If I think about some of the competitive challenges, not just the big picture world, but if I think about some of the big trends affecting our world, I think about the supply chain complexities going up. Middle class is developing all around the world. As middle class development around the world, consumption goes up. As consumption goes up around the world, the ability for consumers to demand the products that they want is going up. And we have undoubtedly created a society with the tools that we have, with the smartphone and the social and the Google and the free information that we have, where consumers are now in charge of what products get issued in the world. It's no longer the corporation. And as we think about the great growth of the Asian OEMs, we had a great presentation here on Lee TV. I couldn't agree more that the future of products is hardware, software, and content. If you don't have integrated hardware, software, and content, you're going to have a very, very difficult possibility of providing a consumer experience that's optimized. And as a result of all this, and you're seeing more and more of this increased Asian competition, which will come at the marketplace with a different way of competing, and will be able to compete at scale because the market right in their backyard is very, very powerful. So it's creating huge faster product life cycles, more disruptive products, more hardware OEMs, and innovations on the rise. And when I say hardware OEMs, our customers today used to be hardware companies. They're now software companies, because every software company is going to have hardware, because they need hardware to connect their end device into the end node in order to capture the data where the monetization really occurs, with the content and the data, the analysis of the data, and the enlightenment of that data as it now comes into the field. A car is a very simple example. It used to be a transaction. You would sell an individual a car, and you would hope 5 years later they would buy the same brand. But the experience mostly ended unless the consumer had to repair it. And in today's marketplace of real-time data, of a connected world, of an intelligent world, you actually have to have an ongoing connection with your consumer. So there's this huge opportunity for convergence that's occurring. And we think about actually what we've done at Flex is we actually created an intelligence of things ecosystem. So we're actually taking steps to actually cultivate and accelerate innovation. As these innovations occur, as the consumer innovations go into the automobile, as medical requirements go into cars, it needs to connect to the connected home, as it needs to connect to the connected city, as it becomes one of the hubs of intelligence that we will actually operate on a daily basis. We go out and source innovations. We develop smart components that enable those innovations. We identify and leverage these technologies across these industries. So our unique value proposition is to take technologies that we see in automotive and move them into industrial. We see consumer technologies, we move them into medical. We see medical technologies, we move them into automotive. And then we commercialize it and build it. So this is a lot about who we are as a company and what we see, but without doubt, without hardware, software, content, visualization of that data, the analysis of that data, and then actually taking it to the next step of actually being predictive, which is the next movement of what real-time intelligent devices can get to you, it's creating an enormous opportunity. So whether it's an automobile or whether it's a thermostat, it's the same set of characteristics that we see as we look across our ecosystem. So thank you.